Hey guys, what is going on? It's Justin Masson here from Nintendo Dads, and we are here with another eShop Spotlight, and this time it is on the game Pode, and this is coming to the Nintendo Switch on June 21st. Big thanks to the development team and the PR firm who were kind enough to give us an early access to this game. Very excited actually to play this game. This was highlighted in one of the Nindy Showcase back in March. And the art style just looked absolutely adorable. And this is from Henchman Goon, the development company. You can follow them on Twitter as well. They're really actually super cool on Twitter and very engaged. Their entire team is. As you can probably tell, I'm already smiling and gushing a little bit about this because I had such a great time playing this. So here we go. We're jumping into Pode. This is cool. I love this already. You want to turn on co-op or not? So this can be played as a co-op function. So we are going to play co-op. It's me and my wife playing. So I'm gonna play with the Pro controller, and she's gonna play with the Joy-Con selection. So she is the second player. I am player number 1, obviously. Just off the hop already, that is such a cool option to be able to turn on co-op. Yeah, anytime in the game. So actually, this is an opening scene. So I'm gonna shut up. Very gorgeous art style, by the way. Such a cool opener. I mean, essentially we have got our little sun or star guy, the circle orange yellow ball, who falls onto this like desolate, cold rock planet, meets a little rock friend, and is like, hey, you want to do stuff together? Okay, let's help each other. And that's the story of Pode, and it's awesome. I think that's just freaking awesome. Gorgeous graphics. I love these cutscenes. This is not just these cutscenes. When we get into the game too, you're going to see it. But just Pixar, Disney-esque art style. You know, nothing is said other than this gorgeous soundtrack. And yet you know exactly what's going on. You know, we're gonna open up this door and we're gonna move forward. So this is just awesome. Again, I think as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit. You know what? I'm not gonna lie here. I'm biased. I think this game is awesome. Come at me, bro, if you don't think that. But that's my opinion. And I come at this from. I was looking forward to this because I think it's a fantastic family-friendly game. And it is, you know, they describe it as kind of a bit of a Norwegian art style. Bear with me one second here. So we're getting into the game. We're identifying who our folks are. But essentially the idea here is that it's a co-op puzzle exploration game. And it's about a rock, who is our person on the blue, our rock is blue, and a fallen star, our character on the left-hand side, who's the yellow here. And their ability to solve these ancient puzzles in the environments in the world that is actually inspired by Norwegian art and culture. It's described as a puzzle adventure game, and I would definitely agree with that. A puzzle platform adventure game, platform-ish, 2 players simultaneous. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to jump into this here. We're going to start playing. As I mentioned before, one of the things I really enjoy about this, so we are playing co-op right now, is that if you were to, this is the other thing we're seeing here right now, you have the ability to swap between characters. So currently, you know, I'm playing as the sun, or this is a star. I keep falling off, by the way, see if I can die, as the star, and my wife is playing as the rock. And I think especially as a parent, you get into some games where, you know, your kids are challenged. Daddy, I can't jump over the spot, or I'm having difficulty, and it's just not working. And they're just having just some core basic platforming or video game mechanic difficulties. And instead of saying, well, hand me your controller, in this, what they've done is they basically said, let's swap roles for a moment. And that is such a awesome feature and ability to very easily just swap You know, you were playing as the rock. Oh, here, we'll just hit this button. Boom. Now I'll play as the rock. And I think by doing that, it allows early or novice gamers the ability to jump in and play and still feel successful, right? So I'll be the rock for a couple minutes here. I'll get you past this bit. Perfect. Now you can continue. We're seeing already, so you each kind of have this ability to use a power. In this case, we're being shown what buttons here. The star has the ability to kind of like activate life and vegetation and the grass and the environment. So we're seeing here these beautiful lush green colors coming out. Again, love the art style of this game. And then our rock friend has the ability to kind of call upon or activate some of the rock or crystals that are found within the environment. So we'll see that happen here in a couple of moments. I will say this, and this is the other nice part that I really love about this game. A little bit of inside baseball. I mean, here we go. So we're activating some, you know, the rock has now activated his powers. These crystals have turned up. The kind of cliffs have dropped down. So now we have the ability to move on to the next level. Basically, you walk into each room, and each room is a puzzle that you need to solve, and then you come up to the very top of it, as we're seeing right here, and then you would exit out of the level. There are no enemies from what we've seen in any capacity. You know, obviously, you can fall off edges, as we saw earlier. There is no, you know, you have 5 lives, and after 5 lives, the whole game's done. This game is really such a masterclass in creating family-friendly couch co-op engaging content. You know, it's not a shoot 'em up. There's nothing violent here. It is just about world exploration and puzzles and cooperatively working together. You know, you have an ability and I have an ability. Let's work together to use our abilities to solve this problem in a creative way. Now the game gives you clues along the way here. Obviously, we see in the center of this piece of the room the kind of the star, the circle. So it was a kind of a clue that when I showed up there, I need to use my power to activate activate that switch or activate the area. And then, as we saw earlier, or a little bit earlier from the rock, when he goes up to, or he or she goes up to the next level, there's an image of the rock, and this is maybe a good example of you using your powers here. So the game design is really quite smart to kind of, you know, enable you to feel successful in these areas. It is such a, and again here we can kind of see some of that swapping mechanic in and out, but I love the fact that you can turn on co-op. So there are other times where I jumped in the games by myself, my wife wasn't available to play, the kids weren't available, and I was able to kind of play by myself. And then, oh, now someone's here, cool, I pause, turn on co-op, boom, you have the ability now to play with somebody else. And and again, I think when you talk about you taking the Switch with you, masterclass, right? Like here, have a Joy-Con, boom, now we're able to move forward. It's such a fantastically family-centered designed game, and not family-centered like everything is, you know, kiddie level and it's not challenging, but just, I mean, there's no blood, there's no guts, I'm not worried about content, I'm not worried about language. I can just sit here and I'm not super frustrated. I'm just relaxed. I can help my kid, they can learn how to platform better, they can learn how to puzzle, we can solve things together, we can feel successful when we finish a room. And I think you just feel good about yourself and feel good as an accomplished game player. And I think, you know, when you look at the core mechanics or the core ideas behind games, it's about having fun, right? And this game lets you have fun. It lets you have fun with a family and with the kids, and it's just really, really well done. And I know that it's bias and a bit of gushery, if you would, about it. But I do think that this is just a fantastic game on how to design a family-friendly game. You're probably saying, like, why are you guys not moving forward here? We're actually just kind of exploring a little bit of this room, you know, seeing if there's any other puzzle pieces that we have to complete here. I do like the fact that also they key up for you what buttons you need to be hitting. In this case, we see in the bottom, the yellow, the sun is saying, or the star is saying, hey, it's like your ZR or what be it. So there's a bit of that as well. Controls are relatively easy as well. Like there's nothing nothing too difficult. Again, it's the approachableness, the family friendliness of the content and the game. I will say, if I'm being very honest, there are some levels later that I did find a little bit more challenging in relation to the puzzle of what we need to accomplish. Again, each room essentially you walk into is a puzzle that you need to solve, and sometimes it's hey, I need to activate these green leaves, and then we'll stand these green leaves together, and then they'll get us to the next platform, and you're going to activate your special ability, which will now give us these pillars, and these rocks will shift, and now we'll be able to reach the next area, and we're off to the races. Some of them are a little bit more complicated, like combining powers, right? So what happens when you and I get together and we both use our powers at the same time? There's a bit of that. There is a bit of also you earn other abilities and skills later on the game. The ability in one of the cases to actually teleport, which is kind of just, again, how do I use that ability or that skill to solve this room to get myself onto the next puzzle room. So I think that's a really cool look at it, right? You can kind of, okay, what are the skills I have currently that I need to use to move forward into our next area as well. There we go, look at that, beautiful, right? There we go, so there, yeah, I activated the leaves. We can see now we are moving up this way, perfect. Now I am up here, and now we are going to leave this little area, I think, together. So again, there's each of you have this specific set of skills, right, that you need to use to be able to help maneuver or navigate your way past the little puzzle. And here we go, we're gonna move on. So we're gonna leave this room, and it's gonna head into another one right away here. Of course, I love the fact that you just kind of you activate your special, and it's kind of this radius area where you're able to, oh, there you go, it's now the plants have grown, so that's great. Very cool. So here we go. We're getting into this room. Again, we can see things lighten up as we're walking through it. There's a hole here. I as the star can't fit through it. Jody, the rock, is going to be able to go through that. That, as you can kind of tell, probably gets to another area. Again, each of us have our own kind of skill sets or abilities that we can use, and Jody's in this case will be to move through that space. Of course, in this case, I also partnered by standing on her head to get me up to the next level that I needed to go to before she went through this this box entrance here, which puts her above me here in a second, or on the same level as me. So I think that's fantastic. Again, this game was highlighted and shown off in the March Nindies showcase. And it just really caught my attention as like, boy, this looks like a really fantastic family-friendly puzzle platformer, and I'm happy to say I wasn't wrong in any way. Not that the Nintendo Switch is hard up for family-friendly content. Again, it's a Nintendo product, so it's going to be there. But I think to see a developer who just, I think we've had conversations before about when games transcend a medium such as art. And I think this is a fantastic example of beautiful art style with compelling or simple storytelling and fantastic game mechanics and design. And in a lot of ways, I mean, we saw this earlier in the year with Faye from Zoink Games. Beautiful art style, a fantastic story to be told. And again, there wasn't really any VO or dialogue. It was sound effects, and it was a compelling soundtrack. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that in this situation as well, where it's cooperative. Let's work together. Let's solve these puzzles and tell this story. In just a fantastic design. Here we're seeing a little bit of that swapping as well, if we wanted to. And again, we're being shown here what I need to do. I need to jump up there, and I kind of need to float, so to say, across. So we're going to see if we can get that one going. There we go. All right, we're on the ledge. Yay, win! And then we activate our special power, and some plants grow, which is fantastic. So we're going to move on to our next area. If we're talking about just simple mechanics as well, the load screens are relatively fast, as you saw there. There's nothing too shocking. One of my favorite parts about this game, and being kind of the star character here, is this ability. Like, you know, this room is barren. There isn't anything in it. It's just kind of flat rock. But to all of a sudden kind of use your power and like, oh, I'm going to jump around. I'm going to turn, activate all these greenery and this vegetation and this life. I guess in a lot of ways, the ability to bring life into a barren and desolate area and make it kind of beautiful and nice to look at, I think is fantastic. So it's one of my favorite things is just kind of jump in there. There are some other ones later where you use your, oh, there we go, you're using an activated switch. There we go. So again, we're using cooperative teamwork here to solve this issue for us to be able to get out of here. And so again, I mean, I think that's part of the simple communication you can have with your partner, whether it's your wife, your partner, your husband, if you're, your kids, whatever it is, about just like, hey, you hit that switch and you see how we work together to do that, right? We're not in competition, but rather cooperation to solve these puzzles. And there's no time limit to any of these levels. There's no stress to it. It's very compelling that way and very relaxing that way. And of course, spoiler alert, there were times where me and Jody got frustrated at just some challenges of the level, but nothing that was like, I need to walk away from this. It's just like, hey, I'm just not getting it. What are we missing here? There's got to be something we're activating or forgetting to activate. And so it's going back and kind of solving some of those problems of like, oh, I forgot to activate that switch over there, which gave me a branch or a platform now that I can use to move forward. So none of it feels like the game was designed poorly or anything like that, but rather it's there we go. So I'm using I'm using the rock as the leverage to get the top, activating some additional shrubbery, if you would, that has activated a leaf. Looks like over there that I think Jody should be able to jump on that leaf and find her way. Oh no, I'm going to jump down here too, apparently. Jody finds her way that way. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go on this platform, which she will activate for me. I think she's just teasing me now. There we go. We can use the leaf too. And we'll use the leaf over here, which I keep missing. There we go. Really, I keep missing. One of those days. Shh, everyone be quiet, I finally got it. Yay, we celebrate. There we go. All right. So they have, Jody's gone through there. I'm going to activate some stuff over here. Oh, nope, up there. There we go. Push. There we go. We're going to activate that. There we go. We've activated the next level. The door rises for us, and then we're able to move forward to our next area. So again, each room is very confined in that, like, this is the puzzle you have to solve to get to the next level. It's almost like, in some ways, it reminds me of like Zelda and like micro or mini dungeons, right? I need to solve said challenge. Here we go, a little cutscene. I like that it looks like they're holding hands. Like, hey, don't worry, we're together. We don't need to be scared. Like, they're just adorable. Absolutely adorable. Look at that. That's so cool. We're going to activate our specials and our abilities and look at the room kind of become lush and engaged and alive around us as we continue on to our next level. Very cool. Very cool. So as I mentioned before, this is available on the eShop. It's one of the reasons why it's one of our eShop spotlights right now. It is $24.99 on the eShop right now. I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for a good couch co-op puzzle game with the family to play. I think this does it. I think this is an absolute. Again, it's a masterclass in where art and game come together to tell a vibrant and rich story, and that's what this game is doing. I think if you're a more expert gamer, I think this will also fill you with challenge at times. I know there, like I said before, there were challenge levels or challenged areas where I was really, my brain was put to a test of like, how am I solving this? And I also think if you are trying to just get your kids into video gaming, it's a perfect entry level game because of the co-op's position and because of the swap position. And you can tell that when they designed the game, they designed it with that, like, how can we make this as easily accessible for gamers and for families to be able to play and to enjoy together? And kudos to the designers for doing that. Just stellar. It's absolutely stellar. You know, and it's I want to say it's not just me who's like, oh, this game is beautiful and gorgeous. I was chatting with our good friend of the show, Barry Dunn from Nintendo Impact Gaming, and he sent me a text not too far after he got his code for it as well. He's like, this is amazingly beautiful, and I was like, yeah, it is. Like, they've just done such a great job. This is kind of funny. I think, yeah, okay. So our little rock friend here has a bit of a Kirby ability, which means that he can actually suck up, he or she, whatever it is, can actually suck up things, in very specific things, in this case, a rock. Doesn't change the form of it or anything like that, but kind of, it reminded me very Kirby-esque of, like, you know, sucks it up and has it in his mouth and spits it out. In this case, we're gonna spit out that rock here in a couple of moments and hopefully activate our next area that we need to transition into. There we go. We can see it's activated there, I think. There we go. We're moving on to our next area. I think this will probably be the last area I'm going to show you. I don't want to show everything, obviously, because you should go buy the game. You should go get the game and try it yourself and explore it yourself as well. There we go. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Just gorgeous art style. Absolutely. Again, huge thank you. Huge thank you to Henchman Goon and the PR firm for providing us early access to games like this. It is with our partnership and collaborations with publishers and developers like this that we have the ability to get early access to games like this, to enjoy them and to share them with our community. And I think this is a great example of where a developer's content fits our audience's needs or wants in such a perfect way that I was so happy that they were able to provide us that access. Look at that, beautiful. So again, guys, this is Pode. I think it's called Pode, P-O-D-E. I know it's P-O-D-E. I'm pronouncing it Pode. Nintendo Switch eShop, $24.99. Puzzle adventure platform game. Amazing job with co-op option. Family-friendly content. It doesn't get much family-friendly, perfect Nintendo Dad's audience content than this, I really don't believe. And go and support an amazing indie developer. It's when you support games like this, it makes them make more games like this and continues to push the envelope and continues to promote why the Nintendo Switch is an incredible platform for the family and for co-op play. And you bust off 2 Joy-Cons and you're off the races. This is, again, a masterclass in how to design a game for a family-friendly audience, and I'm so happy that we have access to it as well. I'm going to shut up, let the rest of this level finish off. We're going to walk out this door here in a second. Guys, thank you so much for supporting us on Nintendo Dads and everything that we do. If you haven't, head over to our YouTube channel, click like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and hopefully you enjoy this kind of content. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll just let it play itself out. Thanks. Bye-bye.